Well, howdy there, Internet students. It's Mr. Hermanson again. This time I'm here to talk about some problems you probably had because absolute value is usually a little bit difficult for students on your homework. So I thought I'd go through and do the problems on number 2, and hopefully this will help get you going on that. So remember that there's 2 solutions when you have an absolute value. There's the negative solutions, and then there's the positive solutions. And so number 2, let's go ahead and work that one out. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is get rid of any junk, anything that's not in the absolute value. So this minus 16, we're going to add 16 to both sides to get rid of that. Then we have the absolute value of 2x left on the left side. Adding 16 won't reverse the sign, so we'll leave that the same. And then 5 plus 16 is 21. Now, here's how you set up your 2 parts. For the negative numbers, you're going to do 2x, and then you're going to switch the sign, and then do negative 21. And this is going to be an OR situation. And by the way, whenever it's a greater than, it's an OR situation. Whenever it's a less than, it's an AND situation. So, and then the other ones are exactly the way it is, except with the absolute value. So 2x is greater than 21. Okay, then we're going to solve both of those by dividing by 2. So we get x is less than negative 10.5. Dividing by 2 doesn't reverse the sign. Or divide this side by 2, and we get x is greater than positive 10.5. Now you might start to think that you're always going to have the same number, just one positive and one negative, but as with absolute value equations, that's not always true. So then when we graph an OR, you're going to have a graph that looks like this, and then this, and then the negative, of course, on this side, and the positive on this side. All right. So the next one is another greater than situation. And this time there's no junk outside the absolute value to worry about. So I'm just going to go ahead and write my 2 inequalities. The negative answers, we switch the sign around and we make it negative 1. And then the positive answers are exactly the same. Okay, now all I have to do is subtract 2. And subtracting 2 does not switch the inequality sign. And subtracting 2 here gives me negative 1. Okay, so when I graph this one, I'm going to have negative 3. Let's say this is negative 3. We're going to fill in that circle. And then negative 1 would be right there, and that's going to go that way. All right, let's do the last one. The last one's a less than, so that's going to be an AND situation. All right, since we don't have any junk outside the absolute value, we're just going to start by writing. And remember, on the left side, the negatives, you're going to switch the sign around and make it negative 9. This is going to be an AND. And then 2c minus 5 is less than 9, exactly the same as the way it is without the absolute value. Now we're going to add 5 to both sides on this one. That gives me 2c is greater than negative 4. Dividing by 2 gives me c is greater than negative 2. And the other solution, we're going to do the exact same thing, adding 5. This gives us a little different result. 2c is less than 14. Divide by 2. C is less than 7. So we go from C is greater than negative 2. So let's say -2 is right there. Greater than would be going this way, and we're going to go all the way up till we get to 7. And that would be, I think, somewhere around there. And then we're going to color in between because it's an and situation. All right. Hope that was helpful. Good luck with today's lesson.